Hey there, it's Dusty Thunder once again with another story for you. This one's a peanut butter story. We don't know if it's crunchy or creamy yet. We're going to find out. This is from AITA and it is titled, Am I the Astronaut for Throwing My Pregnant Sister-in-Law's Groceries Away? Well, when you say it like that, it's not great. Hello, this is a throwaway account and a repost and update of sorts because my post got taken down from the other Am I the Astronaut sub. My brother and his wife Laura, who is 7 months pregnant, are staying with us for a week or so since he's interviewing for jobs in the city my family and I are in. My kids love having their aunt and uncle around and everything's been great. Yesterday, Laura went out and came back with groceries. I thanked her, but told her we don't expect them to do this. The kitchen is stocked and that we're just enjoying having them. She said she wanted to, and that most were cravings she's been having. I started to help her unload the bags and noticed that a lot are snacks with peanuts, cookies, crackers, peanut butter, even some sort of cake fusion. It all made me uneasy because she knows my oldest son, 8 male, is extremely allergic. Okay.
This kind of information would have been helpful in the title, OP.
I don't keep anything of the kind in our home because we've had an incident when he was younger where we almost lost him. I didn't want to be rude, but I told her that I'm not comfortable with having that stuff in the house. She told me that she would be careful, that she wouldn't eat it around him or his siblings, that she'd clean up after herself, that she was having intense cravings and needed them. Look, I've had 4 kids and kind of get where she's coming from, although I never had to have something, but every woman is different. I made sure my son knew not to touch any of it and to leave her alone when she's eating them. That was that. Time out. Because if it's an extreme allergy and you've almost lost him before, it doesn't have to be around it. Just it being in the air in the room can be enough to send somebody into anaphylactic shock, right? It can be like, you better just be carrying a hip holster with your EpiPen at all times, I guess. That seems like I would have reinforced that boundary a wee bit harder. Today, I woke up early to make breakfast and opened the fridge only to be greeted by strawberries dipped in peanut butter left out without a container to chill. The peanut butter jar wasn't sealed properly next to them and there were sandwiches on a plate because she likes the bread cold and soggy. I was pissed. I've read enough about airborne contamination to know that you can't really determine it, but I wasn't risking it. I grabbed a bag and started throwing everything in it. Our groceries, hers, I didn't care. I was going to take the bag, drive to a shelter, and let them know the situation. Laura woke up while I was on my rampage, came down and asked all upset what I was doing. I was snippy with her and didn't try to hide it. We got in an argument with her defensively saying that I can't do this, that the baby needs it, and that it's cruel to put a pregnant woman through unsatisfied cravings. I told her bluntly that I don't give a single if she can't keep to her word, then I won't either. And that she'll live without her craving. My son can't say the same with his allergy. She went back upstairs, packed her bag and came back down, grabbed a bag of food and left in a huff. My brother was at his interview and called me half an hour later to ask me what happened. He was upset with his wife, but also with me because nothing happened. And at the end of the day, my son is fine. I told my husband when he came back from work and he's completely on my side, Am I the Astronaut? We have a mini update. Before we dive into that mini update, thoughts so far. I'm at NTA. I'm at 100% NTA. You cannot risk it. The fact that she's willing to risk your child's life so her baby can have a peanut butter banana snack, no, honey, no. That maternal instinct hadn't kicked in yet where, she wants to protect children. She's like, I will risk it, not for the biscuit, for the peanut butter. Addie, girl, you literally contaminated the entire fridge. The baby doesn't need peanut butter, but OP's son needs to live, Shadow Kissed. Yeah. Yeah, Oma. Yeah. Craving, anaphylactic shock. Risking a child's life. There you go, Brittany. If you want it, you can have it outside of my damn house. I forget, too. I read it, but I forget. Why were they there? Why are they staying there? Husband is interviewing for jobs in the city. Okay. They're staying for a week. She can't go a week. And literally, she could, go outside, go to the park, go on a walk, whatever. Just don't do it in the house. Don't risk a child's life because you want peanut butter. We've gone extended periods of time whenever our kids had active peanut butter allergies with just nothing in there. Here's the mini update. Like some people had predicted in the comments on the other sub, Laura did go straight to my family and started complaining. She hadn't twisted anything, told them the full honest story, and my mother was livid. She called me panting like she ran a marathon after she berated Laura to make sure my son is okay. So I can only imagine the riot act she read her. Oh, hell yeah. Hold up, Mom. Mama gets the green flag here, ladies and gents. First of all, the fact that Laura didn't twist the story, surprised by this. But the fact that Mama ripped her a new one, yes. Also, this green flag animation just does not like to play smoothly for some reason, and now it's Christmas behind me. All right. Apparently, even my stepdad gave Laura one of his disapproving frowns. He must save those for special occasions. My brother came back in the evening to get his stuff since Laura had only packed hers for some reason. He did apologize for what she did, said that he'll have a chat with her once she's calmed down. She's been inconsolable. He told me that she's been crying since she left my mom's house and that now she feels unwelcomed and unloved in our family, and he blames me for it. The F? My husband butted in and told him that it's enough, that whatever she's feeling doesn't cover half of what we felt, and that she needs to get over herself, that I've been scrubbing the house from top to bottom for hours because of her actions. I did get panicky and went on a deep clean of the whole house, especially the kitchen. But anyway, my brother left and said that there's no leveling with us when we're being this stubborn. Excuse me, sir? You know what? I'm gonna be stubborn about my child's life. I'm gonna be stubborn about my child's safety. And if you can't respect that, how is he? Like, I get that partners, because they're the ones that are going to get bitched out by their spouse, they're most likely to take their spouse's side even if they know they're wrong. But he was not with her at this time. He was separate from her and was bitching at them for the way that she feels. But she feels unloved and unwelcome because everybody told her this was dumb. Everybody told her she was wrong. Everybody but her partner is like, you guys just don't get it. There's no leveling with you when you're being this stubborn. Well, there's no communicating with you when you're being this big of a dumbass. Now that I've had time to get out of the state that I was in, I do feel bad that she's distressed and feels unwelcome in our family. That was never my goal. I've been debating sending her an apology, not for my actions because I stand by them, but for the way I went about it. I should not have allowed the stuff in our house in the first place and could have been calmer about it after I opened the fridge. And here is an actual update. We'll go ahead and fly right into it. A lot of people asked me to post an update, so here it is. Warning, this is a long one, and if I wasn't the asshole before, I sure am now. Well, at least she owns it. So after my mom berated Laura and my brother yelled at my husband and I took the advice I was given and sent them a long text, which ended up being a bit of a ramble about everything, how the situation is, how we're disgusted by their stance, and how we'll be going low contact until we feel ready to be around them again. That was the other day after my brother packed his bags and left. I was left on red, and I thought that was that until a few days ago when I got a call from Laura. I thought about not answering, but the curiosity got the better of me. When I picked up, Laura tried to make awkward small talk, but I think she sensed I wasn't in the mood and got right to it. She apologized about her behavior and said she had no excuse other than her hormones, and we ended up having a long chat about everything. By the end of it, I actually felt better and like we could get past it and work on our relationship. She also mentioned that she would still like for my family and I to come to her birthday party. It wasn't going to happen in a restaurant anymore. I guess the hotel stay ended up costing them a lot, as some of you predicted, and that it was going to be at their house instead. I told her that I'll talk to my husband and get back to her. I also got a text from my brother apologizing and saying he was just trying to protect and stand by his wife. It was too soon to start mending things, as my husband pointed out, but he left the choice up to me, and I honestly believed her apology because she has never acted like that before and seemed actually ashamed of herself. Anyway, my sister, who was also apologized to because she also tore her a new one, and parents, who also got an apology, were also invited, but my sister's kids wanted a cousin sleepover instead of going with us. So after talking it over with my sister, we agreed for them to have one at my house. Wait, what? Oh, the sleepover. Not the party, right? My babysitters of a year are my next door neighbors. They're sweet and responsible 16-year-old twins who live with their single mom. They usually team up and tackle my kids on date nights. There's a reason I'm mentioning this. When my sisters added 2 kids to the mix, I asked their mom if she was free to join their duo, and she agreed. Okay, so you've got 2 teens plus an adult there. Cool. So I called Laura and told her that Richard and I are coming. When we got to their house, Laura greeted my husband and I at the door. We handed her the gift and went in, but she seemed puzzled that we didn't have a trail of kids with us, so I remembered to tell her that it's just us adults. Same thing happened when my sister and her husband walked in. Dinner was awkward. No matter how we tried to lighten up the mood and the conversation, it was stilted at best, but I thought it was at least a step forward. Laura asked this time about why the kids were not with us, that she had made special food for them. Oh no. I never mentioned the kids when I got back to her, just my husband and I, but I felt like it was my fault that I didn't clarify, and so I apologized for it and thanked her for thinking of them. She put freaking peanut butter in the kids' food, didn't she? This bizzo. Please don't be that. Please don't be that. My sister chimed in that her kids and mine were having a cousin sleepover tonight and how she was excited about our soon-to-be nephew to join them when he's here and older. Laura looked at her with a smile and said, "Yeah, I'm sure he'll be best friends with his cousins, as in my kids, and his step cousins, as in my sisters." This pissed me off because we don't use step anything with the kids, but I bit my tongue. For context, my sister is technically my stepsister. I know I used stepdad in my first post. I usually call him by his first name. I consider him a parental figure since he raised me since I was 10, but I had a dad, and the title will always be his. My sister gave her a hurt look, but it was my brother who nudged his wife with a "what are you doing?" look. A few minutes went by again with eating and light convo before Laura asked again about our kids, mainly who was watching them since all 4 parents are here. I told her that my neighbor and her daughters are babysitting, to which she laughed at and joked about how incompetent the girls and their mom must be to need all 3 of them to wrangle the kids. Also, for context, I have 4 kids. I'm biased and like to think they're well behaved, but they're sometimes too much for one person to handle, even me. And I'm the one that brought them into this world. And my sister's 2 kids, it's a lot for 2 teenage girls to handle, even for just a few hours. We left at 7 and said we'd be back by 11. It has absolutely nothing to do with the girls whom my kids adore or their mom, who is as kind as they come. Before I could retort anything, my mom stepped in with one of her smiles and told Laura that it's so kind of her to offer her own competence and watch the kids next time. That shut her up real fast. Ooh, I really like this mom. I like her. I like her sass level. And she's quick. Like she's no bullshit. After that, dinner was even more awkward until we cleared the table and Laura brought out dessert while my brother got the cake from the fridge. Here's where I lost the last of my remaining brain cells. I went to the bathroom, and when I came out, I saw my husband carrying my bag and trying to usher me out of the front door to leave. He looked pissed, and I was beyond confused and obviously resisted because, yes, the dinner is a train wreck, but let me at least say goodbye and give the lame excuse for our departure. When my husband tried to literally carry me out, I knew something was wrong, and after a couple of tries, I darted past him to the dining room. Laura's now ready dessert table consisted of peanut butter cake pops, peanut butter pie, peanut butter cookies, peanut butter brownies, and to top it all off, a peanut butter birthday cake that my brother brought in and was sniffing at with a horrified look. Laura then gave me a big smile and said loudly to my family, "I thought I should at least get to have my cravings on my birthday. Get your fill in before she throws these out too." OMG. So again, she was expecting the kids to be there and she was willing to risk their lives, not from like an instant gratification craving standpoint, from a premeditated, I am trying to inflict harm on a child, I'm evil standpoint. I honestly thought that for a second my sister was going to tackle her, and I wasn't that far behind her because all I could think about was the fact that she thought my kids were coming and she planned this accordingly. I felt so guilty for allowing the stuff in our house the last time, and if my sister's kids hadn't wanted the sleepover, I was going to walk my son into danger a second time. I lost my shit. Without thinking about my actions, I grabbed Laura's head, forced her to walk towards my brother, who was, I think, too shocked to react, and slammed her head straight into the cake. I held it down as long as I could while she flailed and told her I hope she chokes on her cravings before I let her go. Holy shit. The fact that she's preggers is the only thing that makes that not cool. I honestly wanted to go for the pie too, but I had embarrassed myself enough by acting like that in the first place, so I told my brother that I'm done with both of them and his wife, and if they try to contact me or my family again, I'm filing for a protective order. Then I let my husband lead me out. My sister was cackling as she followed us with her husband, but our parents stayed back. I heard Laura screaming profanities after us, but my stepdad raised his voice, which shut her up. I got a lot of jokes about his frown on my first post, but the man is as stoic as they come. Him showing any emotion is a big deal. I remember that his frown alone growing up was enough to literally stop my sister and I in our tracks because we knew if he gave us one that we messed up. I haven't asked my mom what happened after we left because I can't handle any more heartache from my brother or his actions. I don't think this was the update anyone wanted, least of all me, but I'm completely done with the both of them. Even though my brother looked like he had no idea the stuff was in his house, happening under his damn roof. I'm sorry I won't be in my nephew's life and my kids won't get to know their new cousin they've been waiting for, but I'd rather cry over that than of my son's life. I don't expect anyone to be kind in the comments. I'm 32. I shouldn't have been so naive, and I know I shouldn't have reacted like that, and I'm going to be dealing with that with my therapist along with the guilt I'm feeling, but please take it easy on me. I'm still shaken up. I'm also looking into family therapy for my kids so they can better process not having their uncle and aunt around after them having been a close presence in their lives. Oh, what the hell? This guy, okay. I've used the Krang analogy before and talk about how, like, I'm sure being pregnant and having a baby in there, controlling things messes with all kinds of stuff, and that does not explain this. No way in hell. This nothing explains this. How can you be so evil that you are willing to risk a child's life? Not just willing, you're planning on it. You are intentionally trying to cause harm to children because somebody didn't like that you did it once before. Like what? Yeah. You're going to be a great mom. You're going to be a great mom. Yeah, using the safety of children as a weapon to restore your ego? What the? This woman needs help. This woman needs serious help. Serious help. This woman needs serious help. If she thinks that this is okay, like I would be afraid if I'm her partner, I'm afraid to leave our infant child with her. If she thinks that this is okay, if she thinks we live in a world where nothing bad happens to people who intentionally try to harm children, something's wrong, and I don't trust you with my child, our child. You cannot trust this woman. You can't, no one can trust this woman. And I hope because mom was already on your side, OP, and where between like the apology was fake, obviously. The apology was fake just to try to get her over there and to try to do this thing. But this is unacceptable. 100% unacceptable. I'm sure you're as pissed off about this as I am, Candy Thunder.
Yeah, but so question, someone this calculated, someone who thinks this stuff out, like we know that she did this dessert table, this elaborate thing. She's very calculated in what she does. Someone who is this precise wouldn't accidentally leave their shit in the fridge like that. She's calculated. She's manipulative.
When she was staying,
she knows exactly what she's doing at each time to get the most craziest reaction. Like she knows what she's doing. I think that she did all of this, one, to play the victim, but also to force her husband to choose between. Because she does say she feels like she's not part of the family, like she's not included as the family, like she's removable from the family. So what if she's doing this in order to, because at this point, her husband no longer has a family. No one's going to see him. No one's going to side with him after what his wife did. So at that point, he's forced to choose his wife or his family. And she did it all.
Wife.
Yeah, she did it all. I mean, she was...
Wife. That's...
the OP specifically asked her to be careful. And obviously, OP regrets even allowing that to come into her home. She knew it was wrong, and she was trying to keep the peace by allowing her to have it. But she specifically did what OP asked her not to do. And someone this calculated, someone this manipulative would not make careless mistakes. So like it was 100% purposely done. And I think it was purposely done to drive the wedge between her husband and his family. So she doesn't have to deal with it.
So she doesn't have to feel unwelcomed or less than because she got reprimanded for doing something incredibly selfish and
stupid. It's not even this. I think this was just a means to an end. Like she knew showing up, she knew making this peanut butter extravaganza dessert table. Who wants that many peanut butter desserts? I mean, peanut butter's good, but it's not like you don't want it in every dessert at the table. Like that's calculated behavior.
That was malicious.
And I did see comments on this that said, you know, what if her child has an allergy? Will she believe it then? Because they were saying she doesn't believe that there's an allergy. I think that she doesn't care about anything that doesn't directly affect her life. And I think that she's very aware of the way that she treats other people.
I don't know how you can be that kind of person and care for your own child.
I think that her child will have a lot of problems when they grow up because this woman is incapable of caring about other people. And I don't think that changes just because you have a baby. I think she still cares. She's going to put herself first in every situation. How can her baby add to her life? How can her baby make her life better? Not how can she take care of her child? How can she make the baby's life better? How can she raise her child to be a great person? Because none of those things matter to her. This baby is just another piece of her life, another thing that she's adding on to this shit pile of life that she's created. Because I don't know how you live like this. I don't know how you do this to someone, and then I don't know what you expect for them at this point, other than to shove your face in a peanut butter pie. I
read recently that they were talking about the startling increase of the use of like antipsychotics or instead of other forms of therapy. The number of kids between the ages of 2 and 5 who are on antipsychotics doubled between like 2004 and 2007. Insane. But there were also some isolated instances where infants under a year old had been prescribed antipsychotics. And one they caught and prevented because this gal had brought her like 3-month-old baby in asking for help because the baby was so selfish. That's the kind of mom she's gonna be. She's gonna be make it stop crying so my life can be easier through whatever
This
means
is,
necessary.
I don't know. This to me screams like narcissistic behavior. Like she wants everyone to love her. She wants everything to be about her. And if she doesn't, then she's going to do shit that's manipulative and destructive to relationships. And that's what it screams to me. Like I feel like she probably duped her husband in order to like pretended to be someone that she wasn't.
And he could have been genuinely surprised when he was bringing those out. He was sniffing the cake and looking puzzled. So she could have been like, I have it on lockdown. Don't worry about it.
He needs to wake the up.
Agreed.
Because he's about to be a dad. He's going to have to need to take the goggles off and realize what he's dealing with here, because this is someone who only cares about themselves. And I don't know. So either I feel like there's two paths for parents. That one, I don't think that they're attentive, and they don't care. Like you said, they just want it to be easy, walk in the park, or they go like where they only care about their child. Their child can do no wrong. Their child doesn't make mistakes. If this child has an allergy,
what I was gonna say.
She'll be the mom that's like, only my child has allergy. Only my child allergy. Like it only matters if my child has an allergy.
Right.
I think like those are two paths that she could take as a parent, but neither one of those is going to end up creating a decent human being.
Right.
Because
I see her doing vicarious parenting.
Yeah.
Her training her youngin' to become her.
Yeah.
And using
no
her
accountability.
Child, using her child basically as like
isn't it? It's like, what did we say last week? It ends with us, and I hope brother-in-law wakes up and realizes what he's gotten himself into and maybe can right the ship. Or I mean, if this was me and you were my husband and I did this to somebody.
I am your husband.
I'm role playing.
Okay.
You would not be okay. Like, you would not be okay with me acting like this in any way, shape, or form. So I can't understand how, like, you would be so upset to the point that you, like, I think that you would leave me.
There's a fork in the road, too, though, because in his position, he's like, I feel for him. Because, he's losing his family right now because of the game that she's playing. But also this fork in the road is a... Yes, do I trust this woman? I'm scared. He's got to be terrified right now.
Right.
Because, if he stands to oppose her, he risks losing a relationship with his child, because she's going to use that child as a weapon and to control him. It's going to be ugly if he ever opposes her. So he's terrified. He's got to be terrified. And if I were him, I would say you need to go have a long conversation with your family about the reality that you're in here and come up with a clandestine plan to right this ship and get you in a solid position where you are guaranteed to be able to have a relationship with your child, not with her. But even be aware, because that split custody thing is going to mean every time that your child is with her, she's going to be weaponizing that child and training that child against you. So it's the rest of his life is it's a Kobayashi Maru, a true one. He is screwed.
Yeah, I agree.
And he's got to be like, how did I get here? How did I get in this position where no matter what I do, the rest of my life is...
And I will say, so Ava and Brady both had peanut allergies to the point that they needed EpiPens. Ava actually outgrew her allergy. Brady did not.
Nope.
And so, we've witnessed him have a reaction, and like what OP said had happened. Never life-threatening, but to see your child's like lips start to swell and all of those things happening, instantly after the stuff touches their lips. I understand, why OP is the way that she is. I understand like that fear that's in you. And to just be so blatantly just shitty about it is just...
her kid's going to be born with a peanut allergy. That's like...
Well,
we talked about like, what if her kid ends up having her kid is going to have a peanut allergy, and that's going to be the...
I mean, what did she...
The ultimate irony.
Like, and to do the peanut desserts, it was just like a punishment. I don't know. Icky Vicky. Icky Vicky. That's what she is. I'm sorry if there's any Vickies in chat. We love you. It just rhymes, and so it's good.